And welcome back, everybody. We are back for another CBC podcast. This week, we're going to talk a whole lot about the things happening in the industry, which, believe it or not, once again, they are. But as always, before we get there, of course, we're going to introduce ourselves. We'll probably talk a little bit of nonsense as well, and then we'll get to the actual topics. But before we get to all that, as always, I am your host, Armin. And as always, I am joined by Mitch.
Hey, you can find me on the link trees. Or with the link trees, not on the link trees, even though
You're just strung up on the link tree.
Yeah, I rarely post because I'm addicted to 14 still. Because
well, there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
trying to finish my last relic before Rebirth comes out.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's right around the corner. A couple days now. So
6 days, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So he's getting ready for that. Tristan, what are you doing? What are you getting ready for?
No, I got my own link trees, doing a lot of other stuff, getting a lot of videos out. Knowing that Rebirth is it was like hovering between the 94 and 93, and that the saying Mitch does not like Final Fantasy 9 being at the top for whatever reason.
Final Fantasy is arguably one of the worst Final Fantasies. I do not care what any Metacritic. No. I'd rather play like Lightning Returns than 9. And I like the 13 trilogy.
Yeah.
Also, that list is wrong. It omits all the DLCs of 14, and Endwalker and Shadowbringers in the 90s as well. So,
oh no, with the reason for that is they didn't want to put in multiplayer or MMO.
That list has an agenda.
Is it a woke agenda, Mitch?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now we can start really grifting, get all those numbers up, and get the engagement up. It's a grift. Yes, Grandpa, everything is a grift.
I mean, technically it is, yeah.
Technically, yeah. So,
was it the Suicide Squad grift didn't last that long?
I was just going to walk into that as well.
I'm shocked.
If you would have told me that like a decade ago, right? Hey, there's going to be sequels to the Arkham games and a much worse sequel to Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and that I would enjoy the Black Flag knockoff more. I don't know what to tell you, but Skull and Bones is better than Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Imagine playing Skull and Bones. Right.
Dude, it is the ultimate like podcast game. Like, okay, I'm not kidding you. When you're just in the zone and high and you're just sailing the seas, perfect.
Like, how can you see that? Because I saw some gameplay of that, and you can't even board.
Looks so bad.
No, you can't.
You can't even board the opposing ship.
It's just like a 2-second cutscene.
Yeah, that's what it is. It goes.
Doesn't the ship have a stamina bar as well?
Yes.
What the hell is that about?
Yeah, it goes.
You gotta feed.
Yeah, you see the cutscene. It's 2 seconds, and then it goes straight to the spoilers board.
But still, it is still better than Suicide Squad Kill the Justice.
I mean, I believe it. Don't get me wrong. I do believe it.
That's the bar here, so it's better than that.
Yeah, but what's horrible about that is that they finally showed the like last media of the original version of Suicide Squad, where people were just showing all the concept art and stuff, and that version of Suicide Squad looks vastly
the original version that was supposed to be done by the Arkham Origins. Yeah.
You tell me a live service game had a better version than the one that came out. I'm shocked.
I know.
It was like we've been here for the last 10 years.
2024, the year of revelations, I guess. Oh, man. So, speaking of revelations, I promised you a podcast this year, fine show, and I'll deliver a show. I'm not sure if it's going to be fine or good, but we shall see. So, without further ado, let's just get to the actual show and topics. The Incredible Hulk 2, because it was never happening, is officially never happening, says Mark Ruffalo. Let's act shocked, everybody. Act shocked.
Yeah, what I find interesting about this is he says he priced himself out, not Universal still holds the rights.
Yeah.
Listening to his reason, I mean, comments. Well, this is common sense for the studio not wanting to take a gamble
Right.
on that type of movie, because a Hulk movie, you're gonna have to have a lot of CGI.
Yeah.
This is what gets me, right? They're acting like they never use CGI and anything else. Like Endgame is 90% CGI.
I mean, I think the argument here is, and this is just how I perceive it, but if you're going to spend $250 million on an Avengers film or $200 million on an Incredible Hulk sequel, you're better off spending the extra $50 million, right? Like the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Incredible Hulk film. I'm sorry, but up until Revisionist History, when She-Hulk came out, claimed its top 5 MCU, was on every single person's bottom 5 list. That film is not well received. I'm always the oddball when people are like, hold up, it's in your top 25. What? Like people had to melt
in
down.
the top 25. Oh my god.
Yeah,
like too many movies now.
Yeah, we've gotten to that point. It's like, no, it's the Incredible Hulk. I'm sorry, Hulk has never sold on film. It's
for me, I think it's that a lot of the investors are still thinking in the short term, not the long term. So they want instant profits now, and they're not entirely sure, or they are completely sure themselves that, like you said, Hulk cannot sell, even though I think, with barring Spider-Man, I think Hulk had one of the longest running comic runs out of everything that Marvel has ever done.
Exactly. And even in the same year when Iron Man came out, Iron Man destroyed him, and it's just, look, the Hulk, he's a popular character, but his films never succeeded. And there's been 2 attempts, they didn't work. Why would you try a third time when you got other things that are a proven commodity that will bring in money? It just doesn't make sense to me. And I think even a part of them understands that there is a vocal fan base out there, but outside of it, who's clamoring for more Hulk? Because I could tell you by looking at the numbers, I can't reveal the numbers, but I can tell you the Incredible Hulk is the least streamed MCU film ever on any service it's been on. It's the worst reviewed Marvel film or the MCU film by a mile when it comes to people that are generally just watching the films, right? That don't know the bigger franchise things. Like, it's constantly ranking at the bottom. Marvel knows this as well, and they go, well, why? Why?
But it's
what you're
wild.
saying is Eternals stay winning. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, when you look at it, it's really wild that you can have a character that's insanely popular that sells a whole bunch of merch and other items, but when it comes to movies, no one wants to go watch them.
Superman.
let's be honest, right? Let's just look at the MCU and the comics in general. Iron Man was their biggest player in the movies. He's never been the biggest player in the comics.
Yeah,
even after the movie, like it just does not translate.
Exactly,
it never translates.
No, it doesn't.
Comics market's too small.
I mean, remember, like, you had a bunch of scenarios like this with a bunch of Marvel characters, and that's how it goes. Like, Daredevil is one of the best-selling, Marvel characters that's ongoing, that sells a certain amount of units. You can always trust Daredevil's gonna do X, and you're like, "Perfect, we can always make a profit."
Never the highest seller, though, which is always
exactly. They found the Daredevil baseline, and it's like, if they were to make a Daredevil movie, it would not do as good as the show is, because there's completely different mediums in how you perceive the character and what they're at. Like, certain characters fall into a certain bracket. I'm sorry to say, Hulk has been knocked down from film into mid-Carter supporting character. It's just kind of how it is.
Well, like, I guess you could say it's lucky for Hulk that happened to him, because, like what you guys were saying with Daredevil, you don't want to be Daredevil in other mediums, because for the canceled Daredevil game, the reason it got canceled was during meetings, Marvel wanted a very, very faithful adaptation of Daredevil, the Daredevil comics at the time. But the development team was hearing, ideas from like Sony and Microsoft, and they kind of went with what Sony wanted the game to be. And Marvel at the time got really petty and said, since you're not listening to us, we're canceling the game outright before the movie came out from from back in the early 2000s.
Right.
I mean, that's
So
fair.
basically wasting all that money just because you didn't listen to us.
So they also probably learned from like the Fox with the X-Men movies. Like, no, we have some slight power here. If you're not going to do what we want,
Yeah.
You're not having that happen again.
Yeah. But Wolverine Origins, the video game, was awesome.
That was the one good thing right there. That was good.
Was it though?
Yeah,
Was it though, or was it just better than the movie?
It was like a good
Yes.
game and better than the movie.
Yeah, it was
On both
both at
parts.
once. It managed to do both miraculously, so it is what it is. So look, when we get more info on where the Hulk is going to show up next, we'll come back and talk more about him. But until now,
Well, where do you think he's going to show up next? Because he said he was in Captain America 4, and then lo and behold, he's like, no, I misspoke. So
I'm going to say for some reason they're going to put him into Thunderbolts. Since Thunderbolt Ross isn't in the Thunderbolts, it only makes sense that he's in Captain America, which means Hulk must be in the Thunderbolts.
He's gonna be.
I know.
Yeah, he's gonna be selling Ross some tacos. That's what he's gonna be doing.
Well, maybe I don't know. I don't
Imagine
know.
They do Thunderbolts without having Ross in there.
Yeah,
and like I just want to know where they got the name from. Then.
Yeah. Places, I guess. Places. But hey,
Sentry with lightning. No. Thunderbolt.
Yeah. Superman legacy talk, because we found out a couple important things this past week. One, the Superman legacy logo / the emblem. It's the Kingdom Come version of the logo, which the moment I thought about it for a second, outside of the knee-jerk reaction that some of the fan base had, I was like, yeah, this logo is the one that makes the most amount of sense to me. So
Oh, I thought you were gonna say where the Snyder fan base were drawing comparisons to that Superman logo.
Oh, that too, of course, that happened immediately.
I don't see it. I really don't see it.
Yeah,
but I do like the logo though. It's a difference. It's very different from all the other.
To me, why it works with me is right. It's not like if you know it as Superman's logo, you can see the S in that logo, right? But if you remove it and you show it to someone that's never seen the Superman logo, they would be like, I don't know, a line going through a diamond. It's like, yeah, because it's an alien thing, right? It's like foreign. So it's like that can be the traditional, I don't know, Kryptonian version. And then in the films, it can get modernized to be more human, right? Like it can have an evolution. So
this is the first emblem, and as we go through the movie, and if it does get subsequent sequels or get continuation from other movies, you'll start seeing that version of the S start transforming
exactly right.
The Earth version of the S.
Yeah, which is like, in the comics, they've even had to backpedal that, being like, hold up, you guys got the letter S on Krypton, but all this other writing is uniquely Kryptonian. So that to be like, well, actually, it's the symbol for hope, or it's our this or that, different continuities. It's like, I like it that it's just like, it's an alien symbol. It happens to maybe resemble an S if you look hard enough, depending on who you are. Like, I like it. I think it's fine. But along with that, we also got like the first set photo. Well, okay, it's the cast after the reading, and that it's a cast. Lex Luthor's going to be bald, so that's nice.
It's definitely a group of people around. That's one thing.
Yeah, people thought you see Superman flying through the air, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
My thing with the logo is though, do we know that it's not just a production logo type of deal?
I mean, we don't, but there's been 3 different times where James Gunn in the last year has specifically posted pictures of Kingdom Come Superman and that logo.
Okay.
So people are kind of like, that's what I was thinking too, up until somebody was like, well, actually, outside of this just one reference, there's 2 more. I was like, okay, there has to be something here, I think. So,
yeah. Because I saw it and I was like, I'm not, why is it a big deal? Like, we have production logos all the time. And they're always different to what we finally get. So what's the point in even getting hung up on about it? But I remember it's comic book nerds on Twitter. So it's kind of a thing.
You don't know. I have to be right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. They do. They do.
Yep. That they do.
No,
So,
I mean, if it's that logo, cool. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I like it. It looks like an S.
Now, the other thing I just want to talk about here quickly and briefly, we can't confirm it, so it's not like a giant thing, but they're going to be shooting in a couple locations, and one of them that sticks out
Oh
specifically
yeah.
to everybody is it's the League's Hall, the Hall of Justice. They're going to be shooting at literally the location that is the Hall of Justice, the train station. This has sparked
Also,
a lot of people saying, "Is this just the Society of America? Did James Gunn throw them in there? That's what all these weird castings, or are they going to form the League at the end of this film?"
I mean, I assume it's the JSA.
Yeah.
I assume. Because hasn't he got a couple of JSA members in it?
Yeah, you got like Hawk Girl and Hawkman by way. It's
no,
Yeah, I assume it's just going to be for that, though.
yeah, they also said that they are going to be also filming in 2 cities in Ohio this year as well.
yeah, yep.
So that's pretty good.
No, they got some good locations. I mean, my whole thing on this is like, okay, so if that is going to be like the Hall of Justice, right?
Mhm.
It's kind of cool that they said, "Oh, Superman, when you pick up with him, this universe has already existed. It's not like he's the first alien." So I like the idea of him just being like, "Wow, these other giant titans of this world existed,
Yeah.
and there's their hall," right? It's like
He's going to
something
be the
to
rookie.
aspire to, Yeah,
It's also going to be why it's called Legacy, right? Because he's going to be carrying on that
that's
legacy.
exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, I was like, this kind of makes sense.
Yeah. That's just, to me, it's really good. I'm just like still trying to wrap my head around rookie Superman for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
That's still trying to get his feet from under him and figure out what he exactly wants to be when there's other heroes around him that have been doing it longer than he has in trying to establish himself.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Like, I think the way they're approaching this Superman reboot, I think is really fresh compared to any other one we've gotten. Because again, he exists in this world. There's influences. There's things going on. It's like the MCU. When you drop a new character into it now, they just exist. It's like, oh yeah, these characters, these other people just run around. They're doing their
I
thing.
was going to say it's Holland's Spider-Man, but without
Exactly. Yeah.
the movies prior to that. It's just like, hey, just start at Homecoming, and there you go. Like that's going to be what this movie is.
Yeah, that's what it feels
To an
like.
extent, obviously, it's not going to be identical, but
right. But that's the idea. Yeah, drop them into the universe and be the eyes through it. So, I mean,
but here's the bit we're never really going to focus on. Maybe like it existed. There's a history here. We're going to go forward now.
Yeah. It's always the tricky part, but you hope that maybe they can fill it out elsewhere somehow. I mean, they're gonna have video games, cartoons, and everything.
I wouldn't be surprised that's what the games are.
Yeah.
You're going, the games are canon, cool, but it's just going to be with JSA.
Yeah.
So you wanted to see what happened before? Here's a prequel game for you.
Exactly.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. That'd be cool.
Because that way it gives you an empty time space to actually work in. You haven't got to worry about a movie coming out and changing what you've been making.
Exactly. So they got that freedom to kind of do. It's like, oh, this takes place 3 years before Superman Legacy. Here's Metropolis. You're like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, you can explore that world and build off some of that continuity. So I like it. I'm excited for this film. It starts production real soon, officially shooting.
It's next week, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. So there we go. We'll talk more about it probably in a couple weeks when a ton of leaks hit the net.
So there you go, Stephen Amell. Movies take time to make, so you can shut up now. I don't know if anyone saw what he said about the whole.
The only thing I remember from him is that he was trying to get on one of the movies to be Green Arrow in that universe. That's the only thing I remember of him, and he completely blanked out because I don't really care.
Yeah, well, he's been salty the minute. He's like, why are they just talking about everything? Where's the content? It's just like stuff takes time. And if you remember, Stephen Amell, you lot had a strike, a very big strike for nearly a year.
Well,
so
he didn't.
You can't make content.
He
I know
supported the studios, though. So,
I know you're a scab, Stephen Amell, but they can't make something on a strike. It's kind of the whole point of a strike. So you have to give them time.
The old man yells at production cues. Okay,
he really sounded like alt-right YouTuber when he was doing that. No, quite. It was.
He's gonna slowly start developing a Scottish accent.
Yeah. Oh,
For
no.
some reason, a bunch of them just has started having it or being influenced by it. I don't get
That's
why,
film
but
God legacy for you, isn't it?
oh, Jeebus. Well, there we go, everybody.
Nice Charlie
Legacy.
Day.
Going from one reboot to another reboot spinoff, we don't know what Sony's going to do, but they're going to try their hardest because they have officially threatened us, and it seems like it's definitely happening now that Madam Web has flopped. The Miles Morales live action Spider-Man film is really going to happen. They are pushing forward with this, but not only that, also more Spider-Verse films, maybe, but they're not making it clear if they're talking about live action and or animated. I'm going to assume it's live action because it was during interviews for Madam Web. So, we talked about this before.
Yeah,
Miles Morales on film. Ugh.
Yeah, so basically, since Madam Web just straight up bombed and was basically waste of money, that now, yeah, we kind of got to. We kind of got to put Miles in this as well. I just don't want them to do it. I mean, because I know people were wondering if Marvel or Disney as a whole and Sony came to an agreement or made an agreement because of the announcement that Sony Pictures was going to start producing all of their physical media content going forward, so Disney doesn't have to. So if you have a problem with Disney not putting out physical media of their movies, you blame Sony Pictures because they're the ones controlling it. So they're thinking that they made another deal that they can't announce yet, that they will continue with their such as continue with their Spider-Man deal. Yeah, and they're allowing Marvel to take the brunt of that, but Sony still has a hand in what happens in this Miles Morales movie going forward.
Mm-hmm. Putting on the conspiracy goggles, it's easy to connect these dots and be like, well, maybe not. But we've had insane scenarios before that everybody said would never happen with Sony, and they did. I do believe that Sony understands that the moment you put from the same studio that brought you Venom, Morbius, and Madam Web, you're not looking good. You need that MCU mentioned in there. I do think we're at the shifting point now where Sony has realized, you know what? We got to do this the right way. We're not going to succeed off the back of the MCU. Only Venom succeeded because, hey, it's Venom.
Yeah,
that wasn't going to happen to Madam Web and Morbius. I don't care who you are. So,
to be honest, I think it was more, how do we afford this going forward?
Yeah.
You can't keep spending that amount of money to not get anything. Obviously, Madam Web didn't cost that much, so the hit's not going to be horrendous. But it's still, you can't keep putting out movies in a loss.
Because, we know the moment the Miles Morales movie, takes flight and they start shooting, that's a $200 million budget easily. Because you got to shoot in New York, you got to do all this and that.
And that this particular Spider-Man has a whole set of different powers as well. So,
yeah, they are going to be in for a ride. Like Tristan said, I hope that something has been worked out here, that those conspiracy hats are true, and we're just all going to end up winning in the end.
I only hope that there's a loophole where it's the deal between them is like Marvel makes the Spider-Man movies, and that includes Miles.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that would be the best case scenario, because usually it's only with certain characters, because that's what the deal entailed, and that we're gonna do this on our own. Like, please don't. The only way you guys are making any money from Venom is because he's Venom. He always makes money for whatever reason. He makes money
because hentai. That's why.
I thought it was for Todd McFarlane's, always coming out every 5 years.
Kristen, every single day, millions more of edgy teenagers become 10, 11, 12, 13, and they discover Venom, okay? That's just law.
You say millions of teenagers become 10.
10, 11. Well, they're turning from 10 to 11 to 12 to 13, and then you're kind of there, right?
It's just like teens start at a very specific number.
Yes. I don't know.
I don't know.
I haven't been one in 70 years, so what can I say?
I just think Venom comes out every time Todd wants to shield his Spawn movie that's
Yep.
definitely gonna come
Oh,
out.
100%. Yeah.
What's gonna come out first? Blade video
Miles.
game and movie versus Spawn?
Blade. Blade at this point.
All of Blade, yeah. Oh man.
But yeah, it's I just don't want them like to screw this up because like
No one does.
yeah, because he's been like teased at, and everyone knows that he's in a version of it is in the MCU, and that if Marvel can correct this whole shift because of everything that's happened and safely, I'm not going to say they don't have a plan, but have a concrete idea of where to go forward after like Fantastic Four, and like since everything is just like, oh, gotta scrap this, got to shift to something else. So,
well, nothing's been scrapped yet.
I want to
technically.
say something.
Not technically. Not
yeah.
It is not. He's not been scrapped. He's being shifted. Is the word. No, I wonder if because we had that news about Silk
right
the other day where it's like, oh, we're going to make it a more male focus. It's like, well, that's great.
That is not going to save her because like thinking back,
no, she doomed her even more. Poor girl. Silk deserves better.
Well, yeah, it was like because once I read that and I started thinking, I went back to her first appearance with Dan Slott, and I was like, "Oh no, oh no!"
Yeah,
so she's gonna have all the hormone stuff, and it's gonna be horrendous. No, why? It's like you tried doing a female-led, male-orientated Spider-Man movie, literally 5 days ago, and it didn't do too well.
Not at all. But they won't learn.
Well, and recently, I don't know if people listening were reading the comics. Marvel has started to try and synergize with the whole Spider-Man and Spider-Verse thing again by making Miguel and Madam Web start up a new version of the Spider Society.
Oh, yeah.
And he has to choose which spiders he wants to have on the team. And surprise, surprise, Miles is one of the candidates.
Shock.
So yeah, I just hope that Sony is as hands off as it possibly can, and they just get a bag of money to be quiet and sit there.
Yeah, that's literally the only hope. That's how we win.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, it's so bad, but that's how it is. So, we'll talk more about this in a bit because Miles seems like it's gearing up, and the next Spider-Man film as well. So, we'll see what happens. Okay, on the other side of stupidity, let's talk about this week in WTF is WB doing, because hey, we can bring this back weekly. I know it's weekly now. We can bring this back because this past week we found out that the budget for Joker 2 is $200+ million.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
What in the world are you people doing?
Oh,
I saw someone say it's a musical, so need elaborate sets, and I'm just like, they film in New York.
Yeah.
Where are they going to put a set? Like, the city's the set. It's like, shut up.
Yeah. I am lost.
It's money laundering. That's all it is. They're literally just laundering money. That's all.
This has to be it. It has to be it. I don't get what else it could be.
No. Because if this movie does anywhere near as well as the first one, I'm going to be stunned. Because you cannot sell in sales a musical. You just it's impossible.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's probably not. And for maybe a couple reasons, it has to do with Harley Quinn not being the version of Harley Quinn that people would want.
Lady Gaga does not cost that much money.
No, not
12 million.
Not in that sense. I mean, like, certain people have a version of Harley Quinn in their minds, and if it's not that character, then they probably won't like it for obvious reasons, or they probably won't go see it. Because you know how fans are. If it's not something they recognize or they resonate with, even somewhat, then they turn on it and say this is not it, and and start going off about how horrible the product is, even though like these other things are really, really good. It's just that this particular part of the product is not what they want.
Right.
So therefore, the whole thing is horrible.
Also, we're looking at Joker 2, a film that literally nobody wanted. Like, I don't know a single person, even the most diehard fanboys of this one, that were like, what if we get Joker 2? That's a great creative idea. Why? Like, why?
Because WB. That's why.
Clearly.
Yeah, they need money. Because, like, I don't want Joker. Honestly, I don't really want to see Joker for a while. I would rather have, like, any other of Batman's villains to show up. It's like you mean, like, if they wanted to go with, like, this musical style movie, I was like, I would rather have, like, Clayface in it. It would make me more interested in the movie and want to actually go see it.
Honestly, anything at this point would make me more interested than everything we've heard so far, which is like the anti-interest for me. I'm like, everything you're saying just doesn't sound appealing.
I mean, after the first movie, I'm not even going to watch it. I have too much self-respect.
Yeah, just trying to imagine a Bane musical having a wrestler sing throughout the whole movie.
I mean, they're performers, so it's not too far off.
Yeah. Oh man, it's like I'm trying to literally, I cannot wrap my head around what this budget would go on.
No.
Like, what does it? That's
catering, probably.
Must be. Like, I don't know.
This is massive CGI sequences. Like.
Oh. What's the director's name?
Todd Phillips.
Todd Phillips, right? Yeah. Maybe he's just using this to fund 3 other Scorsese ripoffs at the same time, and nobody at WB noticed because they don't know how money works.
I mean, Zaslav does not watch movies. Let's be honest.
Exactly. So he might have actually found like the golden egg and the goose and everything. It's just all producing and nobody's noticing.
So maybe you'll find Phillips in Hawaii afterwards. He's just pulled in humans and.
I was gonna say he's hanging out with Jeff Loeb and Scott, whatever his name is over there. Yeah, embezzling money.
He's just scouting out locations for the next movie.
Yeah, making sure it looks fine. Is the catering all good? Yeah.
Hey Marty, what would De Niro do at this corner of Hawaii? Spell it out for me. Great. As the people can probably tell, we're making fun of this because this is an absolutely insane scenario for Joker 2.
Yeah, there's no reason why this budget is brilliant. What was the budget on the first one?
50.
You don't need 150 million extra.
Yeah, like unless for some reason the film is ending with a sequence of blue lasers shooting from the sky and the multiverse of Batman attacking Joker.
I'm looking it up, and like the original budget was like 60 million. So
with the reshoots they went up.
So it was a 140 million bump from the first movie.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And now just think about this. Over 200 million, that means your marketing bracket is 300 to 350 million. This film needs easily 600 million to break even.
At least, yeah.
I don't want to say
this is the prime example of Hollywood movie math being absolutely bat crap, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to balloon budgets for a sequel, especially one like this. Like no wonder they don't want to take any risks when they're spending that much money on a Joker sequel.
Agreed. I mean, remember what happened with Deadpool 1 to Deadpool 2? From 50 million to like 200, and the quality
Deadpool 1 looks infinitely better.
And is better in every way, to the point that people who love Deadpool 2 can't even tell you what the film was about, and they're confused as to how half the cast is alive. Like, it is a bad film. I'm sorry. Like, money doesn't grant you a better film. We know this from the MCU alone. Look at Quantumania. Like,
I mean, at the minute, apparently don't look at Quantumania.
Because nobody did, apparently. Neither did Disney.
Don't specifically watch that one thing.
Ignore it. There we go, everybody. Let's jump off of Joker 2. Because now we're talking about Avengers, The Unknown Dynasty.
Oh.
So, What do we make of this?
Come on down.
Yeah,
I tell you, please no, please no. I want Doom as much as the next person. Don't shoehorn him in it, please. I beg you.
What do you think is possible? Who could fill that role since Kang is like being like swept under the rug?
Just do the Beyond. You're doing Secret Wars. Do the Beyonder.
Just literally make What If matter and just bring in Ultron, like bring in that Vision Ultron. Come on.
I mean, yeah, you can do that, but then that means people have got to watch What If, and I wouldn't wish that.
That's a double-edged sword. I don't want to land on that one. So, yeah.
No, just. I honestly don't know how you get around it. Really.
Yeah, they are stuck in the Kang
mess.
Yeah, it's going to take, honestly, a masterful genius writer to write them out of this problem. That's kind of where they're at.
Yeah,
and
unless like they, I don't know if people want this, unless they would try and swap out Kang for the Maker.
No, no.
Unless the Maker is like Mr. Fantastic from the Fox-Men universe, and then you kind of build Secret Wars like
Which
that.
one?
I could. Okay, not Miles Teller. Not Miles Teller. I forgot there was two. I literally blanked. I'm like, what do you mean? Which one? There's only one. Oh, you got me.
So technically, there's three.
See, use the ones from the destroyed, abandoned universes and make them like the Council of Reed, who's secretly been running this. Do something.
They just all unmask Jonathan Majors Kang, and it's just all white Reeds. Right.
Oh,
let's do that.
It's the Scooby-Doo scene, but every time it's just a white guy underneath. You're like, what is going on here?
But like I have seen this. Some people were like kind of frustrated that why can't they just recast or bring in a different Kang, because there are different Kangs. It doesn't have to be all one person.
No, that's what I want them to do.
Yeah.
Because I think the rumor at the minute now is Kang's not actually gone. He's going to be in the movie in some capacity. He's just not the focus.
I mean,
you're having to recast Kang anyway, right?
I was going to say, like, you got to recast, you got to deal with it. I will not be surprised if they handle it like Avengers Endgame, where the opening act, they literally kill Kang, and then instead of another version, just another villain takes over.
Yeah,
and it's like, I was the mastermind all along. It's like, all right.
Living Tribunal just comes in and blips him out of existence.
Yes. That would be cool. I mean,
it would be convenient. I don't know about cool. I waited years for this guy, and now he's just here for a plot device. Even though he's just a plot device, which is fair. But...
Yeah, even do the Tribunal. I was just thinking like Molecule Man.
But that means you got to choose Molecule Man and not just have him come out of nowhere like a MacGuffin.
Well, technically,
I know the internet loves doing that. It's like, oh, just have this. It's like, yeah, but you'd literally hate that if they did that.
Yes, but
it just comes out of nowhere.
I know, but it's just like they technically they use Molecule Man like a MacGuffin anyway. So
yeah,
I mean that's true. But at least he's been in previous things. Not just, hey, we have this guy now.
Yeah.
He likes hamburgers or cheeseburgers, whatever.
But I mean, I hate how everybody's pretty much unanimously decided. Well, and by everybody, I mean the people that are impatient. They've all already decided. We hate that you're setting up Kang because we wanted instant gratification. So now we're all excited that you're going to rush through potentially Doctor Doom and toss him into this. It's like, cool.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, all of you are as dumb as your average TikToker making videos. That's great. That's just great.
Why do you got to do that? Because I finally got past those type of TikTokers where they're just saying random things about who they think is going to be and what. And it's like, no, don't do this to people.
I finally re-scrubbed my TikTok after clicking a link on me and sent. I was just like, oh, god damn.
Yeah, you got to go back. No, not interested, not interested.
That button doesn't do anything. I'm certain of it. It's like YouTube.
Yeah,
You just got to keep scrolling past everything and like liking other stuff.
I could see it. So I don't know. Like, I guess we're gonna find out soon because apparently Disney's still committed to that 2026 release date. However, they're gonna do that with Kang
Yeah, it's not
Dynasty
gonna
or whatever
happen.
it's called. Yeah, it's
Not
not
gonna
happening.
happen.
No.
If we see Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars pre-World War III, I'm gonna be surprised. If I'm not watching these movies on my phone in the trenches, I'm gonna be very surprised. And in parts on TikTok, like not in one go.
Yeah.
Like Marvel's event, Secret Wars Part 350.
Yeah.
I'm 5 minutes into this movie.
Yep. It's gonna be good. So there we go, everybody. That's gonna do it for the main show. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. We do have 2 bonus topics coming to members. We're gonna be talking a little bit more about the expansion of the Spider-Verse, which was confirmed by Sony, and the literal pending sale of WB Discovery, which we're gonna also talk about. This is gonna be an interesting one. So hopefully, we see you guys there for bonus topics, and watch out for more things on there and the videos I'm sharing for Tristan and Jared and whatever else pops up on the community tab. Keep an eye on that for now. So I guess until next week, hopefully there's news and we can come back and continue this streak of consistent podcasts. If not, avoid Suicide Squad, kill the Justice League at all costs. See, I want to tie it back around to how we opened the show. Creative
Okay.
like that. Yeah. Uh-huh.